Welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me, as always, is co-host Ryan.
I'm ready to get to it.
Well, Ryan, this is a special little episode today. We're going to do one of our little segments that we're going to call Combo. So when we were kind of talking about our podcast and thinking of ideas, how we can be different or how we can kind of help the community, and we're not the first by any means to offer helps and tips and tricks, but we wanted to add to that. And one of those things we talked about was creating an episode where we kind of take some different hero cards or aspect cards and talk about our experiences with them and how we found success in making kind of heroes work or different cards work for us. So, Ryan, do you want to kick us off today with your combo?
I do. I'm going to start it off with a hero that is your absolute favorite. You love them so much that you've never played them. She-Hulk.
Now, to be fair, I have played her like once or twice.
I don't remember that.
It happened, okay?
It happened. All right. Well, I personally enjoy She-Hulk. I think she is an underrated character. She's got some really good cards. She also suffers from first wave cards that are not great. But she still has I personally feel a lot of growth still to go as the game grows. And so that is exactly what I'm going to talk about with this combo. So my combo comes from a deck I made on Marvel CBD. Shout out to them. My deck was a leadership deck called Sneaky Cat from Hell. And the whole premise is focusing on Hellcat, because that ally, when I first started playing with her, I just thought she was fine, but I have come to really enjoy Hellcat. She's 3 costs, so, a higher one, but it feels like kind of average for most heroes, I would say.
For a signature ally, 3's pretty good.
Yeah, but she's got 1 attack, not great, 1 consequential damage for that, but she's got 2 thwart for 1 consequential, 3 health. That's the key, is that thwart. But the real shining star for her is her action, which is return Hellcat to your hand. And that is just an action. So it can be done at any point in any form on your turn, and on another person's turn. So it has room for a lot of interesting plays. And so there's 2 cards that I think could combo really well with it. Is 1, getting yourself the Honorary Avenger trait or upgrade. So it gives you the Avenger trait and it gives you the +1 health. The reason why you want that is so that She-Hulk, who is an Avenger, when she flips to Jennifer Walters, her alter ego, she'll also have the Avengers trait. And that's key, Scott. That's key. Are you listening? Taking notes?
Yeah, so just to clarify, the Honorary Avenger is going on She-Hulk, not Hellcat, right?
Correct. Yes. You put Honorary Avenger on She-Hulk, so that when you flip to Jennifer Walters, you've got the Avengers trait.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Because then now you can play the leadership event card Sneak Attack, which is a 1 cost. It's an action. You choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with your identity. That's the key thing. So now if Jennifer Walter has the Avengers, now you can play Hellcat, who's an Avenger. And then you put that ally into play for that 1 cost. And if that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, you have to discard it. And so that's how you get around it.
That's
so
pretty
for example,
sneaky, right?
I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
I'm onto you.
Uh-huh.
But that's what I love, is because you can throw Hellcat at for 1 cost, and resources are a little more scarce with She-Hulk. Throw it out for 1 cost, do as much as you can with Hellcat, and then just throw her back in your hand. And you don't have to discard her. I think that is an awesome combo with She-Hulk. And the deck I have is all built around that, so it's really awesome. But that combo right there, I think, kind of just takes Hellcat, rings around, gets as much as you can out of her before somehow she gets discarded. So that is my combo of the day or week, or how many times we'll do this kind of episode.
All right, nice. That's a nice little combo, especially for She-Hulk. Even though she's a lawyer and supposedly can thwart off of a scheme, it seems like she can struggle a little bit with doing some of her. Because aren't her signature thwart cards? Don't you do those in her alter ego?
You do.
And you have to spend like a ton of resources.
Yeah, so you're going to be an alter ego to do thwarting for her. So similar to Gambit. Gambit's a alter ego thwarter, which is kind of bittersweet because if you're in alter ego, there's going to be more thwart put on this game. So, but the way she works out, you can do some pretty good flipping back and forth and do some fun shenanigans with her.
That's pretty good. That's a good segue to my combo, because my combo has to do with Gambit.
Do we need to explain people that we don't have stutters? This is just our fun little thing that we do.
Just a little inside joke with the combos, yeah. Yeah, so everyone, not that having a stutter isn't bad or good, we just like using the real big lead up to the combo.
I feel like that comes from like a video game that we've played one time.
Yeah, if I can make it happen, I'll try and put I'll probably throw it in everywhere I can. I'll throw that little soundbite in. People don't think we're crazy.
Oh, there you go. We'll make the soundbite the one that makes fun of people with stuttering.
It's not a stutter. The guy doesn't have a stutter. He wouldn't be like a voice actor, I guess, if he did, right?
That's a good point.
All right, so let's take a look at Mr. Gambit here. So his big, on his hero side, he has the 2 actions. He has 1, he places his charge counter there. You can only do that once per round.
It's charge the card. Right?
Charge the card, yeah. You gotta say it like that too. And then he's got to throw the card. That's his interrupt. He says when you play an attack event, you can remove up to 3 charge counters from here. And then that event deals +1 damage for each counter removed. So 1, 2, or 3 additional damage to that attack event. So a card that to me sometimes works and sometimes doesn't is we're going to combo with the Honed Technique card. It's an aggression card. It's an upgrade. It's 3 cost. It does have a requirement to play of 2 science resources, 2 mental resources. It says when you play an aggression attack event, if you paid for this event using a science mental resource, increase the amount of damage that event deals by its printed cost. So if you use the throw the card ability plus this, you could deal some pretty significant additional damage. So I've got 2 cards we're going to take a look at. And I got these 2 because they deal multiple packets of damage. So we're going to take a look at Melee first. So if you're running a few copies of Melee, Melee is a 3-cost aggression attack event. It says deal 3 damage to an enemy, deal 3 damage to another enemy. And it has a mental resource on it, printed mental resource. So you would have that, because that's part of the cost of Honed Technique, is using that. But if you got that to work, you would deal the 3. The Honed Technique would add 3 because of the cost of Melee, so that's 6. And then if you throw the card, you would remove an additional 3, and you'd be doing 9. And then you would be doing 9 again.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, 18 to potentially. It does have to be two different enemies. That's the only slight hindrance to this one.
That
So
is true.
it does say another enemy.
That's true. And I think it is important to point out for anybody that's listening that's newer, this melee, those are both attacks. So if there's something that boosts this card's attack, it affects both those damages. Um, so like for Miss Marvel, she's got that plus on the damage. It affects both of those numbers, and so that's what you're saying is that charge the card gives you that plus damage on both the first deal 3 damage to an enemy and that second part.
That is correct. And this card is actually from the Miss Marvel pack. All right, so we're going to go with another one here. So this one is 1/1. It's a 1 cost attack event, aggression. It says deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy. And this came in the Nova pack. So if you got your hero action here, you deal 2. Hone Technique would bump it to 3, and then charge the card would bump it to 6. So you could deal 6 to an enemy. And I would say most minions you can pretty much take out with 6. And then
I'd say most, yeah.
Obviously not all. But then you could deal another 6 to another enemy, which would be pretty good.
So for only 1 cost, that's pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap. So kind of clear the board or clear a big minion, or I guess technically you could defeat stage 1 and then go into stage 2, because you are defeating the stage. So you could use it towards the end of a stage, a villain stage.
Yeah, I guess that counts, yeah, because technically if you defeat a stage, it's classified as defeating an enemy.
That is correct.
Don't look that up. I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure that's it.
No, it is. When you defeat a stage, it's defeating an enemy, because that stage is defeated.
Yeah. I think I think number 1, 1/1, is a pretty good aggression card, anyways. But yeah, adding those bonuses to it. I mean, even if you took out your hone skills, it'd still be a strong card with Gambit for sure.
Well, even if you didn't defeat an enemy, 1 for 6 is still a pretty good cost curve on that one.
That's one that is better than Heroes attack cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good setup. For me, from just playing the game and also learning about other games similar to this, like Lord of the Rings or Arkham, the best combos are gonna be ones that you have to do minimum setup. So this one's a minimum setup. You got your hero that's got the natural ability, and you just need your hone skills to hopefully find that and get that out to make it better. But it's not necessary. It just makes the combo better.
Yeah, if you're playing Gambit, it's not a necessity, but it does make it significantly better.
Yeah. I mean, it adds a lot of extra damage once you have that set up. So, like for this type of combo, it's feasible, because there's sometimes I've played games where I'm like, I love this combo, it's great, but it's like 4 steps to get to that combo, and so the game's over by the time I finally get it set up to do. And then I never even get to do it.
Yeah, that'd be my only thing is I played games the same way. Like Hone Technique never came out until like the bottom. It was like the bottom card of my first pass in my whole deck, and by then you're rolling. So,
Yeah.
Another good thing with Hone Technique that I didn't point out is that you don't exhaust it, so you can do it multiple times, which is kind of nice. If you're able to make multiple attack events, and I have one more attack event.
Oh, you're doing a bonus card.
Oh, this is bonus. And that is, oh no, I gotta find it. It is Clobber.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. 2 cost. Deal
Yeah,
3 damage. If it's the first card you play, return to your hand.
that is correct. So if you did it correctly with Gambit, you could deal the 3 from the card, pay science for it. It would deal an additional 2, so you're at 5. Throw the card, that takes it to 8, and then you could get it back into your hand, play it again. If you had multiple, charge counters, that many charge counters, you could do the whole process over again. But if not, you're at least doing another 5 with just the hone technique with the right resources.
Yeah, and just for our listeners, when you say the throw decad, you're automatically going max the 3.
Yeah,
you can do less.
You could,
but
yes. We're assuming you're
we'll do
maxing
max.
out your combo here.
Yeah. I actually, when we were talking, I was thinking about Clobber, and I was like, I bet that card would also probably fit pretty good. Those 3 cards I think are probably 3 events that you can include in an aggression deck with him and be pretty solid.
Yeah, you'd definitely be doing a lot of damage and then flipping down and using his alter ego to worry about thwart and his Creole Chama.
Yeah, and really, those 3 cards, a 1 cost, a 2 cost, and a 3 cost, all deal a lot of damage and multiple damage. So it's a not only a crowd clearer, but it can do some serious damage to a villain.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's why I like this game. You can play each character kind of differently with the cards you want to use, or whatever effect or kind of combo you want to see work. You can make it happen.
Yeah, that's basically all I do is I see what cards come out and see, hey, I wonder if this would work. And so, or you just have an idea. So like for She-Hulk, I was looking at Hellcat and I was like, how can I maximize her potential? And so that kind of just brought about this deck of focusing on sneak attack and just pumping Hellcat out as fast as I can for as cheap as possible, as much as I can. And it worked out pretty good. The first time I tested it, I don't know if you remember, we were at our local game store and we played against the Hood, and you were Hawkeye and I was She-Hulk, which that already sounds like going to be a rough time because of the thwart. But we did really well. I sat and just thwarted with that combo, and you were able to sit and just shoot arrows and kill people. And so that was a fun game. That was definitely one of our best games.
Yeah, I remember you doing that, and that's what I thought about when you talked about that combo. Is it just felt like you kept picking her up and playing her like multiple times.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could do a whole episode on this deck. It's super fun. So just a shout out if you like decks, Sneaky Cat from Hell, Marvel DB. Feel free to look it up.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll see if I can put that in the show notes
Tag
so
it.
people can test it out and leave us a comment or an email and let us know how they liked it. You can contact us at marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. And we'll wrap this combo episode up. For your combo. And any last words?
Nope.
Nice. Way to end strong.
I need to work on my my catchphrases for this show.
Okay.
Need a good intro and an outro catchphrase.
Okay.
Like, catch that dream, everybody.
That's right. You catch that beautiful butterfly.
Catch that beautiful butterfly.
All right. Well, we'll end it here. And thanks, everybody, for listening. And remember, if you don't want to be a chump and you want to be a champion, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. See ya.
See ya.